Hi, my name is Sir Jackson, and this is Authentic Dialogue, a show where we have authentic chat about conversations you and I would rather avoid. Welcome. One of my hobbies or the things I like watching is air traffic accidents. Yes, granted, I agree, it's a bit weird. And fun fact is, I seem to like watching air traffic accidents the night before I travel. Again, that's another weird thing. But one of the interesting air traffic accidents stories I've seen was one where a plane was getting ready to land, and at the dashboard there's a light that is meant to come on once the landing gear is in place. And for a reason, the light didn't come on. And let me fast track for you the story. The plane did crash. It crashed into a swamp, killing people. Unfortunately, when the investigation began being done about what really happened, what turned out to be the case was the landing gear was fine. The plane was working just fine. But what had really happened is that the bulb, which cost a few US cents, the bulb that is meant to turn on had gone off, had blown up. And so, whereas the pilot and the co-pilot should have been focusing on landing gear and getting everything ready, they became distracted about a lamp that had not gone on, and they focused on trying to get that light on, and in the course of that forgot to get hold of the plane, and the net result is the plane crashed. We're continuing with our series about Think Like a Parasite, where we are looking about tips on nailing our life's transitions. If you have not watched the videos preceding this, I would encourage you to check out on the channel for the same. Quick capture is that the parasites are masters at transition, and we're using their name Parasite as the tips on the things people need to be able to nail in order for them to become great at handling their transitions. And in the show just before this, we were looking at R, which meant reposition. Today we are looking at A, which is avoid, okay? And there are two categories of things we need to avoid in order for us to thrive during our transitions. And they'll sound same or similar, but they're different. So we need to avoid distractions and destroyers. So we need two things that distract us and things that destroy us. Often the two are very intertwined. The things that distract us will be the things that destroy us. In the case of this plane, the pilot and co-pilot were distracted by a 50-cent lamp, and at the end of the day, a plane worth millions and lives which are worth millions and millions and millions and millions more ended up being destroyed. Why? Because individuals were distracted. What is true with this plane is true with many of our transitions. The nature of the several moving parts and the environments within which we navigate our transitions is such that if we are not careful, we can end up being distracted. Parasites are masters at making sure they are not distracted. Your internal environment can become very destructive, can create so many distractions to a parasite. There are places in your body that have a lot of nutrients that would attract or distract a parasite to go there, but parasites are very site-specific. So if I'm an intestine parasite, it does not matter how rich the liver or the kidney is, I'll go to my intestines. If I'm a parasite that goes to the muscles, I'll go to the muscles. Parasites are not distracted. Something about them knows to be distracted comes before being destroyed. And similarly for us, one of the things that we need to become aware about is the things that distract and the things that destroy. So let me begin with the things that destroy. There are three Ds, three-letter Ds that we need to be aware about that lead to destruction. Number one is what I call deals. Deals are things that on the surface look like you're getting good return for your money, or good return for your investment. But the real currency that lies beneath that is what you're not being told that you're really giving away. Many times it is you're sacrificing integrity, or you're giving away principle, or you're giving away a whole lot of yourself in what seems to be a deal. Deals by nature, or the way they're being used in this context, is things that want to short-circuit the process and get you to the product well. In a previous session, we have talked about product always coming after process. But deals at their heart want to leapfrog or short-circuit or cut their way around the process and get you to the product quicker. They promise great product by subverting the process itself. So one thing you need to be aware about, things that will destroy us really quick, especially in the context of transitions, is deals. Because of the way they mishandle the process, they will compromise the eventual product. So yes, you're going through a transition, you're waiting for marriage to happen, and somebody is telling you by wearing a certain way or throwing money at a certain person or individual will get you married faster. It's likely that fine, this will be a deal, it could get you there quicker. But remember, how you get them is how you keep them. So if you got a marriage out of money, you'll need to keep it out of money. So deals promise to short-circuit the process to get you to the product, but at the end of the day, they fail to deliver. The second thing that we need to be aware about that destroys is darts. Coming just from the game where we throw things at a board, it's darts. So darts are things that are aimed either at our physical person, or that are aimed at our name or our integrity, or that thing that guarantees our well-being. So the second thing we need to be aware about is darts. If we are not situationally aware or environmentally aware, if you're a business going through transitions, if you're not aware about tax darts that are being thrown at you, or competition darts or technology darts that are being thrown all over you and the changes, it's very likely you will be destroyed. So number one, you need to be aware about is deals. Number two, you need to be aware is about darts. Things that are being thrown at you, either consciously or unconsciously, that are aiming at your person or your persona or your integrity, that if not dealt with will be able to get you down. So darts, then there is deals. And then the third thing that you need to be aware about is derailers. Derailers destroy us because, just like it is with the very name, a train is designed to run on a rail, okay? But when you derail a train, you're removing it from the rail or the track it is meant to be, and by so doing, you lead to its destruction. So derailers are anything or anyone who's lifting us or removing us from the purpose that we need to be pursuing within life. And life has no shortage of derailers. The promise of quick success can be a derailer. Pursuing what appears to be the newest shining object can become a derailer. And from families to businesses to communities of faith, individuals going through transition have a sense of dis-ease. They are restless, and very often when shiny new objects are thrown at them, they can very easily lead them to destruction because they derail them from the purpose or objective they need to be pursuing. So do you have derailers around you? Do you have things that are darts that are being thrown at you? And do you have things that are looking like deals that short-circuit the process in order to get you to the product? These things will destroy you. And by thus destroying you, they will subvert you from achieving your purpose. The way to deal with this is to make sure you're not distracted. And the only way to make sure you're not distracted is to consider two important things. Number one, you need to always remember that you need to have a clear sense of what your purpose is. Why am I here? What am I doing as a business or as an individual? What is my sense of purpose? That will be key number one against distractions and things that would lead us to destroying. And then number two is you need to have a clear sense of your identity. Very often, the reason we jump on deals, the very reason we become easily destroyed is because we are not sure of our identity, and therefore we are jumping on anything or anyone who would give us that sense of what our identity is. But if we're certain of our identity, which comes from understanding where we came from, why we are here, what we are all about to do, whether as an institution or as an individual, this will form a proper safeguard for us as we navigate the difficult transitions of life. So once again, when we are going through transitions, we need to avoid destroyers and distractors. And we need to recognize the destroyers in our lives are deals, are darts, and are derailers. And the way to make sure we deal with them is to sort out the distraction part. And how do we sort out the distraction part? By making sure we have a clear sense of our purpose and we have a firm understanding of our identity. I'd like to know what your thoughts are about, and maybe your testimonies about how you've overcome destroyers and derailers and been able to stay on track in the process of your transitions. So please go to the comments below and share your experiences, share your feedback, share your comment. And while you're at it, remember to subscribe and stay tuned with us. Until next time, think like a parasite.